Why it sucks to be a Mercedes owner today. Mercedes sounds proud, doesn't it? Mercedes feels like the pinnacle of engineering, that embodiment of status and class. From childhood, the formula for success was ingrained in our minds. If it's a mark, you've made it. But in reality, owning a Mercedes today is like being a fan of a band that lost its sound long ago, but still keeps singing, hoping for past glory to carry them. Mercedes used to build tanks with leather interiors, cars that outlived generations. You could buy a W124 and your kids, maybe even grandkids, would still be driving it one day, maybe leaking oil, but confidently holding the road. These cars didn't break, they just got tired. They could rust, their paint peel like old basement walls, but the engine ticked like a metronome, and the transmission outlasted most marriages. Today, you buy a new C-Class and are immediately greeted by plastic, gloss, and a million sensors that die faster than you can learn how to disable them. Mercedes has gone from king of the road to a rolling infotainment brush. Every button is not an engineering solution, it's a marketing report. You sit in the new E-Class, and for the first 10 minutes, you feel like a spaceship pilot. Everything glows, shines. There's a screen across the whole dashboard. But dig into the menus a bit, and you realize Mercedes no longer builds cars, it builds apps on wheels. Want to adjust the airflow? Sure. Open the menu, go to a submenu, then swipe all through the screen. Even if you just want to get warm air to your feet, good luck. In the W210, you pulled a lever, done. In 2025, you need a UX design diploma. Reliability? Forget it. Back then, you could take a diesel W124 and drive from Kiev to Vladivostok with 3 flat tires, no oil, and no driver's license, and the car would survive. Nah, you get a check engine warning just for opening the window too quickly. The electronics in a Mercedes live their own life. Sometimes you're on a first-name basis with them. Sometimes they're mad at you, and off you go to the service center. Oh yeah, the service. That's a whole separate expense. You've got a Mercedes. Congrats, you're a donor now. Any repair shop will charge you like royalty. And it's not always for quality. Sometimes it's just because they had to spend 40 minutes locating the battery, which is now hidden like a Pentagon file. And what about handling? Mercedes was always about comfort, about floating on the road. But once they tried to become dynamic, youthful, they lost their charm. Now you buy an AMG, and it's trying to be a BMW, but it can't, because Mark was never about sport. And when it tries to fake it, it's like your grandpa putting on skinny jeans and joining TikTok. Awkward, weird, a little sad. Old Mercedes cars had soul. The W140 was a battleship. It wasn't made to sell more. It was made to be the best car in the world. Today, Mercedes has best marketing goals and quarterly reports. You're buying not a dream, but a simulacrum, a premium illusion that fades once you notice. The auto start-stop button squeaks after 3 months. Want a diesel engine? Good luck. They're being strangled by emission standards, filters, and electronics. Want a naturally aspirated engine? Forget it. Now it's all turbos, hybrids, and software that'll start lacking in a year. Want to just drive and enjoy? No chance. Mercedes will decide for you. Vibrate the steering wheel, tell you you're out of lane, and maybe show you an ad for your next scheduled service. The funniest part, Mercedes is trying to be ahead of the curve. Electric EQS models, glossy interiors, smart headlights, but all this innovation feels like expensive ornaments on a plastic tree, shiny, but soulless. Drive an old W210 and you feel it's made of steel. Drive a new GLE, you feel like you're inside a rolling tablet. Mercedes used to be a legend. Today, it's a brand for those who want to appear, not to be. You're paying for the badge, for the glowing logo on the hood, for an illusion of greatness. And under the hood, an engine that's 60% shared with Renault, a transmission coated by interns, and a suspension that might collapse if you turn too sharply. Owning a Mercedes today is like dating a 90s actress who was a star in her youth but now lives off her past fame. You're kind of proud, but deep down, you know it should have stayed a memory. Mercedes isn't bad, it's just sad. Sad to see an icon turn into glossy plastic, to watch engineering bow down to fake air intakes at light shows on the dash, to see a legend trying to feed into modern trends, forgetting what made it legendary in the first place. So today, owning a Mercedes isn't about joy. It's about disappointment, compromises, and constant comparisons to what it once was. And that, you'll agree, is far from the experience we all once loved the three-pointed star for.